Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone and everything. We are the Dawn of Ascension show, and I am here with my Ascension Soul team, Susie, Aubrey, and Gina, and we're here to share our tools, our views, and our journey through these wild and wonky and crazy vibrations and energies that we live through on a daily basis. This morning, we would like to talk about community and how community is very, very important, and how almost the term and the term of community has been misaligned with what the true intention of what community means. And community is also, it should be treated like an ecosystem, something very tender that you grow and you manage like a wonderful garden, and being cheerful and send good vibes and give cooperation um, is the important positive aspects that we want to enhance with this ecosystem. Judgment undermines the community. And with judgment, there we go, back in duality, where we're left that behind. And now we want to build a balance within each and every one of us. And as we build our balance, we can build our community in that balanced ecosystem. Aubrey, what have you got on that subject today?
Hey, Arlene. Thanks, Arlene. So, community, uh, in our experience and our like human collective experience, our communities have not we don't really have a healthy template for communities as it stands right now. We as a soul and also just we as a collective have a very, very deep need for a sense of belonging. That is where a lot of safety comes in that allows us to like have the container to fully express ourselves. And a lot of the communities that we have been a part of so far have had kind of like rules and regulations that you need to follow in order to be allowed to be in the community. And it's kind of created this like separation effect where there's an us versus them kind of feeling between it's tribal and like there's almost clans that have kind of created this feeling of separation. And if you get kicked out of a community, then you get ostracized from your safety. And that is not how it's meant to be. That's not how the universe works. We're not meant to be separated. We're not meant to be ostracized for, especially when we make mistakes. So as we are moving forward in these wild and wonky times that we're in right now, we are being called to kind of create a new template for community. And this is hard because the healthy template is not actually on the planet yet, where we are currently bringing it into fruition, which means that we're going to kind of have to change a little bit the way that we think about what community looks like to us. And like Arlene said, one of the biggest barriers to that undermine community, like proper healthy community, is judgment. And the thing is we are all like as we've said many times on this show, we are all one consciousness that is experiencing itself through different perspectives. And each one of us holds this seed of knowledge and information that is trying to express itself in different ways. And without all of us expressing our own expression, then we can't reach this template that we're looking for, which means that what we need to do right now is support each other in our full expressions. And so if somebody else's full expression looks different than yours, then it that means the pathway to get there is also different than yours. And I think it's really important for all of us to recognize right now that we have all been through a lot here, and the steps that we've all taken and the mistakes we've made and the path that we take to get to where we're going right now looks completely different for everybody. And to have a feeling of judgment towards another person for the mistake, like sometimes people make mistakes around you that are so very obviously the wrong thing to you, it makes it very difficult to kind of to give them respect and love in their journey to find their full expression. But none of us are fully expressed yet, and we're all making mistakes. And it's very, very important that when you feel judgment towards yourself or others, to just squash that judgment like a bug. Like you just don't need it. There are other ways to think of things, but that have nothing to do with a hierarchy of I know better, or and that person is worse, or to have some sort of bad versus good feeling, like that person is bad because they've made these choices and I am good because I haven't. Or I am bad because I have put myself in this situation and they are good because they have not. All of those feelings, just don't, just squash it. Find something else to think about and find what you do love about the people around you, because we as a collective and we as a community are our biggest, each other's biggest tools and supporters in all of us finding our fullest expression. So find love in your community, and also look at community as an ecosystem, like Arlene was saying. Community is meant to be like a garden. So when you look at the entire ecosystem of a garden, the soil and the worms and the plants and the way that this entire ecosystem flows requires, first of all, being involved and active at any given moment when it's your time to be active. And it also means giving back and receiving the things that nourish you, and then giving the things that your gifts that you have to nourish others. Which brings me also to a point that right now it's time to really explore the gifts that you have right now. The way to fully express yourself is by engaging in the gifts that you have already found in yourself, and finding excitement wherever that may lie.
Oh, that was a beautiful message. Yes, it really is important. It and community was much stronger when I was a child in the early 50s, and it had a different definition, definitely, than what we have now in 2000, 2024, 2024. Gina, what do you got on this subject?
Um, with community, if you're everybody's got their head in their phone, or what their little world is like today. They go out the door, get in the car, drive to work, get in the car, come home from work. Try smiling at your neighbor if you don't know them. Start there. Just a little something with somebody who you have in your neighborhood, who you haven't gotten to know at all, even if they're different. If somebody has a Trump sign, or somebody has a Kamala sign, or that's all over, or it's whatever it is now, but it's stupid. And it's time to reach beyond that nonsense, because that's so much of our environment has been infused with division. Whether you're a vegetarian or eat meat, or that's bad, this is good. No, everybody's different in this world. But find out what part of those different people, find out what those different people can teach you about what the world is like. Because having judgment that, oh, they're bad because they eat meat, I don't want to have anything to do, that's bullshit. They might make really good muffins, or they're really good at gardening, and they could teach you how to do that. Find out. I have a neighbor across the street. He won't talk to me because I'm a little different, but every morning he goes to work at 6:30, and every morning I see his headlights come on, especially now that it's dark out. And I say, "Good morning, Daryl. I hope you have a good day." And when he comes home in the afternoon, if I see him, I wave. And, you know, I'm doing my part, but I've been here 17 years and he does mow the front of my yard, the strip between us for me, and I say thank you, but that's about our interaction for the year. It's his choice, not mine. But try to get to know, smile at your neighbors, maybe compliment them on something they're wearing, or make an effort, find something positive about those people around you that you haven't gotten to know. Get to know them.
That's a really good idea. I was in property management for 20 years, and the majority of that time I was the landlady, the apartment manager, and I worked on huge properties, 300 units. And that was the one thing as a manager that I always encourage people, know who your neighbor is next door. Just say hi to them and greet them and at least get to know them. And then that way, when you understand their routines a little bit more, and then it was always a way that was my deal, to create some kind of community with everyone around there, because um, it just worked out better and people felt safer and they felt more um, part of the community. Oh, I'm coming into this place and at least these people know me and talk to me. And yeah, and you can't do any judgment. Just it's a good thing. Let's put it that way.
It's supportive. You know,
Yeah,
you feel supported if you know your neighbors and they know you. I mean,
yeah,
what if go borrow a cup of sugar?
yeah. And as a manager, I even occasionally, because I did it so long, I would have someone come by and say, I haven't seen my neighbor and I don't know what's going on and I haven't seen them. So then, we either make you know, do some inquiring about what's going on. But yeah, it's a form of safety and just, it's okay. It's really okay. Susie, are those fairies talking about community today?
Oh, yes, they are, Arlene. And look at our fairy message. And it actually looks like a community.
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that cool? A tidy house, clarity and organization. So with this card, if your emotional world feels messy and you can't seem to get clear, then perhaps it's time to see how your environment is affecting you. And you can be influenced by the people in your daily life and the energy of the objects you're surrounded with, basically everything in your surroundings. So now would be the good time to, for example, do an inventory and a full clearing of your environment. Clear communication is key. Is it time to let go of some of the people from your life? um, it's a good thing. Otherwise, you might stay in these relationships too long out of a sense of obligation and social courtesy, when in truth, there is nothing holding you together. So, with that being said, be impeccable with your word, say what you mean, and be willing to make whatever changes are necessary to clean up your side of the street. And if you are doing the right thing, it doesn't matter who has an opinion. And once you are sure your house is tidy, there is this release of energy to begin new things, to enjoy life, and to know you are on the right path. Now, with this card, I did pull a supplementary card, Aubrey. I pulled the Seven of Swords, radioactivity. Um, Now, what I picked up from this card is all radioactive particles are potentially dangerous, with some being more harmful, like the gamma radiation, and some alpha particles being the weakest. And we know that with radiation, it's invisible, which could mean there's some perhaps indirect forces at work. So should we be taking a like more like a subtle approach to tidying up our house?
I absolutely think so. We're kind of in this position right now where the energy of the planet has gotten just so it's too big of a mess to clean up. What we really need to be doing right now is creating what we do want and stop trying to clean up all of the energy that has been kind of coming at other like between people because really what radiation does is it tears particles apart, which creates other like these harmful particles. And our the purity of our collective has been very, very torn apart. And at this point, what we need to do is start creating these beautiful pure and clear containers for ourselves in which we can feel how much we love each other and can feel safe to fully express ourselves. And the only people that can do us is us. Sorry, the only people that can do that is us. um, and so yes, Susie, spot on as usual.
So there goes the ecosystem of community again, the container and back to our ecosystem that we want to create.
Mhm. We need to be free to love each other and love ourselves. And we haven't been for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if anyone has a comment that they would like to say, then please leave that in the comments below because this is a really expanding subject. But I do think we have incoming. Beep, 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 beep. Aubrey, who's here today?
Today, a root system just came in, and there are some beings. There's kind of a collective of beings that want to kind of give this message, but it goes right along with our message that we've had today. What they want to say is that if you're having trouble, connecting in with the even desire to connect in with your community, it's because there's something in your roots. Like if your root is blocked, if you feel unsafe, it's because there's something like your roots aren't being able to connect to the people around you and to the ecosystem around you and to this energetic world that we talk about here. So they want everyone to know that they are safe and held and supported. And sometimes that means if you decide that you're not safe and held, you are supported in that belief. So spending time really doing the things that make you feel safe, really focusing on your nervous system, taking baths, having quiet, still times, and spending time really loving on yourself and helping your body to feel safe is going to be the number one thing you can do for yourself in order to kind of get connected into the network. And the network wants you to connect. So please work on it.
Wow, that was a really, really good message. And I didn't realize roots had their own message. I knew trees had their message, but I didn't realize that roots as well. How interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
collective of beings. There were some druids in there. There were some fairies in there. It's just a little root crew.
what a wonderful, wonderful message, everyone, today. And we would like to thank all of you for joining us on the Dawn of Ascension show. And we'll see you next show. Bye.
Bye.